All right, what's going on, people? It's the North Shore 9 Postgame Show. I'm Tyler. Here with me is my guy, Dougie Fresh.
What's up, peeps?
The Pirates lose today 4-1. They drop their second in a row today to the Tampa Bay Rays. Very irritating game, Doug. I don't know if you feel the same way. I'm just irritated by it.
It was just irksome, annoying. Not what we expected on sort of all levels, right? Rowenzi was not sharp. Our situational hitting was not sharp. Lead off walks and missed pop-ups, and at 162 games you have them, but it's annoying, especially in a game that we're putting a lot of stock into, a series that we're excited about. It's sort of like we came out flat.
Yeah, it's probably a bit unfair by the fan base right now, because we are putting a lot of stock into a May 2nd game.
We're putting a lot of stock into every game, right?
This series just feels big. And not to mention, I just can't stand the Rays. I don't like the way they play the game. That entire franchise bugs me. They just have to make sure everyone knows they're the smartest team in the world, and they want to rub it in your face to all 5 of their fans.
Yeah, but I'm sort of with the Rays. We're a small market. They're a small market team that actually does it pretty well. I mean, wouldn't you have taken their last 10 years versus our last 10 years?
Yeah, but I didn't get to take them, so piss on them.
I don't know. I barely know a name in that lineup. I know Wander Franco. I know Randy Rosania. I can't tell a low from a low, and they produce. They got Harold Ramirez, for crying out loud. I like them. Sorry.
Oh, I can't stand them. But we're missing the big story here. Jim Rosati was in the audience, and he continues his curse.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm going to go try to change that tomorrow. I am driving down a 9-hour drive. I'm taking off a couple of days, and just decided yesterday in the middle of, putting a part in the machine. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to Tampa. So I'm hoping that and Neil does the post game tomorrow. Yeah. So I've got a lot of juju, a lot of mojo that I've got to turn around. We'll see what happens. And now with my first loss in the new apartment. So
yeah. And I'll tell you what, the Pirates really could use some freshness from Dougie right now.
Yeah. Dougie Fresh. Whew, it's been a long time. I was fresh quite a while. It's kind of past the expiration date now.
Well, I guess we'll just get into this bad boy. Rowanzi gets a start on the mound. I thought he looked pretty sharp early. The slider was phenomenal, maybe as good as we've seen it this year. The issue to me just came back that he couldn't command anything aside from that slider. And once the Rays were able to just neutralize that, the fastball command wasn't there. There really wasn't much else. And the Rays do have a good lineup top to bottom. They are a bunch of professional hitters. They made them work, and the command just wasn't quite there as sharp as it could have been.
Yeah, I think we're sort of seeing an extension of what the Nationals did on Sunday. Sitting on the break and stuff, sitting on the slider, fastball, because we throw more breaking pitches than any other team. We throw less fastballs than any other team. And it seems like, again, teams make adjustments, and that's what they seem to be doing. And we're going to have to combat that. We're going to have to maybe pitch a little differently. Rowenzi, yeah, you're right. The slider was sharp, but 6 hits, 4 walks. It's not a good strategy to walk the guy before Wander Franco every time, even though it got you 2 double plays. You are playing with fire there, and eventually it caught up to him.
Yeah, the first inning, the slider just looked fantastic. He did not get helped by his fielders today. That's probably well, we can kind of touch on that a little bit. A couple misplays, Sawinski and Hedges. A few others. Just
Yeah, there was
not
a lot.
just not great in the field today. And the swings and misses just kind of disappeared after the first couple innings.
Yeah, it seems like he only had it for a little. And again, it's a tough hitting lineup. They made him throw pitches. He was walking you guys. He was giving up hits, and I think he lost his sharpness pretty quickly. And it's funny how we put so much stock into these games and the peaks and the valleys. The first inning, we get a couple guys on, we don't do anything. I'm
Right.
like, oh, we're gonna lose. But then Roansy comes out, looks great in the first inning, gets Wander Franco to hit into a double play. I'm like, oh, okay, of course we're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right, it's just a game. It's just a May 2nd. As you said, it's a game of May 2nd. And games in May mean as much as games in September, but again, they all are just a small portion. So let's not get too worked up.
Yeah, either way you slice it, 4 walks and 5 1/3. That's not going to get it done.
No,
Um,
against that team. No.
no, really against anybody, you
Right,
can't
that
walk
not
that
against
many.
Cincinnati or Washington, right?
Yeah,
You can't put that many guys on base, especially if you're going to give up 6 hits as well. And he put 10 guys, 2 guys an inning. You're not going to escape that.
so yeah, I thought tonight was a good test for Contreras. I don't really know if I'd say he failed, but it
No,
wasn't quite up to par of what we thought we'd see there.
no, but it wasn't the sharpness that
Right.
we've gotten. It doesn't look as good. He didn't look as good as he did against the Dodgers last week. Where of course, I mean, he had 6 no-hit innings there for a while, but yeah, it was. I was a little disappointed. It seems like I said he started out okay. He sort of seemed to lose it quickly and just didn't have his command. Um, and they were ready. They were ready for him. They had a good game plan, and like they've got a line of professional hitters, and they got to him.
I mean, for God's sakes, the Rays treated this like it was Game 7 of the World Series.
Oh, I tell you. Oh, I mean,
I've never seen a team like game plan entirely around Jack Sawinski the way they did today.
yeah. Oh, I know. I mean, the thing that makes me believe most in Jack Sawinski now is that Tampa Bay treated him like he was Babe Ruth. I mean, I'm sorry. I love what Jack Sawinski's doing, but I'm not afraid of him yet, right? From another team. I mean, I'm not game planning my whole thing, but that's how well apparently he's doing because again, the smartest team in baseball said you are not going to see it right. I mean they adjusted everything for that. That was really something.
Yeah, they refused to let him see a righty today.
Right.
It was reminiscent to walking Barry Bonds with the bases loaded.
Yeah, I mean that's how they were treating him like Aaron Judge. I mean I mean even right even more, I mean again yeah, it's stunning. I was just like, okay. So the whole starter thing was based on Jack Sawinski, the opener, right? And then every pitching change was based on getting
Yeah.
Jack Sawinski to go against the lefty. Which again, it was a very effective strategy. But I'm really surprised that they put that much into it.
Yeah, I mean, it was effective. I don't know that it was necessary. Um, if the Pirates did that, if I'm a Rays fan and they're doing that to Jack Sawinski, I'm probably yelling at my TV for burning a bunch of bullpen arms.
Yeah, and I mean again, what Brian Reynolds is on base 4 times, and again, if I'm a Rays fan, I'm more likely to know the name of Brian Reynolds than I am Jack Sawinski, and I'm like, so this is the guy you're scared of,
If you're
And,
one of the 7 Rays fans.
yeah, are there that many? Right.
Well,
We should talk, and we're not exactly. We do have a lot of fans, I
yeah.
suppose. They just
Hey,
don't
they
attend
just all
games.
moved. They all moved to Tampa, and they showed up
Right,
to this
right,
game.
yeah. Oh, I loved it against the Nationals. Now there was a good Pirate fan representation there. Joe Block's, oh, Pirate fans travel great. I'm like, Joe, they don't even go to home games.
Yeah.
These are people that live in the area. They're not, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think people are going, God, we can't get tickets to PNC. So let's rush down to Washington for
Yeah, that's not happening.
yeah.
But just to wrap it up on Rowanzi, he's not going to take that next step until he shows something with the fastball command.
Yeah,
Right now,
absolutely.
it's still not there.
No.
And he's going to be a effective enough starter, but not take that next level until he's able to
Right, he's going to be a
really command that
mid-rotation
pitch.
type guy until he commands that pitch.
And he's
And,
not going to be able to get length in a game. He's going to be
right,
out
oh
of the
yeah,
game in the fifth.
he's going to be a fifth inning guy, and that's going to cause greater problems than just his performance. So we don't need to burn through this bullpen. We need this bullpen to be fresh, where they're still not.
Yeah.
They haven't convinced me yet.
But all things considered, it's one start. I'm trying not to get all up in arms about anything today, although very irritating,
Right.
annoying, frustrating.
Yeah, but it's an annoying in the sense of in just the course of a season. It has no great importance to it. We lost a game against Tampa in Tampa. It's not that big a deal. We didn't get blown out, right? We had our chances. This did not seem to be a mismatch. We had guys on base all night long. We didn't deliver. We made a few, a walk, let a bloop go in, a couple little mistakes here and there. It wasn't a dreadful performance by any means. It just, flat. What happens sometimes in a 162 game schedule with Jim in attendance.
Exactly. And it all comes back to Jim.
Right.
And you know what else Jim got to see? He got to see an absolute shit show of a fifth and sixth inning today. Yeah. That's where really the fielding just hit the fan.
Right.
Starts with a pop-up to shallow center. Rodolfo tries to track it down. That's not his ball at that point. Jack Slawinski's jogging to the baseball, and then apparently he couldn't see it, and he just stands there and watches it drop. Really, that is the game changer here.
Right.
The Pirates fought back, tied it at 1. You give that up, and
right, and
the gate kind of opened.
Roenzi walked the leadoff hitter, and then you get the pop-up. And again, so there hasn't been a legitimate hit yet, but now there's 2 guys on base, and Wander Franco's lurking.
So that play doesn't get made there. People will probably argue with me about this next play. The Wander Franco RBI. Personally, I think Mark Mathias has to make a play on that and at least knock it down. I know it's a hard out to make. The reaction looked very slow to me. One, I just don't really care for Mark Mathias. I know everyone's aware of that.
Yeah.
I think a decent major league second baseman's at least able to get a glove on that, knock it down, save a run. I could be wrong. I might have to go back and rewatch it. I'm probably being too harsh on him.
Probably. I mean, there's merit in what you're saying, but again,
this is what happens when you do a post-game show 162 times. I have to find nitpick things.
Right. That's exactly it. That's especially in sort of a, just kind of a blah game where there wasn't any real big dramatic things. It was, death by 1,000 paper cuts type thing. So, yeah, it would have been great. It would have been a game saver, maybe a game changer at least if he had was able to do that. But Franco was due. Come on, he was. He bounced into 2 double plays.
Man, that ball's 81 off the bat.
Yeah,
I just think you got to knock it down. But it's a tough play. It's on turf. Right. It's going to take a weird hop. Right. I get all that. I just kind of expect more, and I'm going to be very critical of people I don't really like.
Right. I don't know that we had does Castro make that play if he's playing second base? Does Bay? I'm not sure.
I'm not going to lie. I think they knock it down just because they're quick enough.
You know who does? You know who makes it? Marcano. I can't believe I say this. Tucapito Marcano makes that play. He's growing on me. He is. I don't know. For 2 years, I've been listening to you guys talk about how bad he is.
But no, in all seriousness, I think Marcano should have been at second there. I don't know why Mark Mathias gets a start today. It just didn't make sense.
Well, he's right. Well, yeah, especially I was going to say, he's right-handed.
Using an opener.
Yeah.
You don't really know where they're going second. I just don't like using Mathias here today. I know the loss is not on him by far.
No, by no means. But
it's just another nitpick complaint I don't enjoy.
All right.
Who you bringing aside from that, speaking of another guy I didn't enjoy, another big part of this game, Austin Hedges, for some reason, inexplicably just tries to throw from his knees.
Yeah.
With a guy on third, aggressive base running, the Rays score on a steal at home. Bad throw, throws from his knees, not a chance to catch him there. Just bad baseball.
It was not a good day for those of us in the Hedges is a great defensive catch, a difference. He had a bad game. He had a
He
bad
had a
game.
very bad game.
Right, and
And he's not the only one.
No, he's not alone.
But he's the easiest target here.
But yeah, it's right. He seemed to be in the middle of some bad stuff. So, and when you can't get a hit, you can't really get. I mean, did he get a walk today? I think maybe. I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Well, he lined out with I think runners on second and third. It was a great play. Nothing you could do there.
He was there for the balk. I mean, that was
that wasn't a balk. But even there, that at bat's terrible.
Yeah.
You got runners on second and third. You got one job, bud. You're a pro hitter.
Yeah.
Do a job.
Well, I don't think he's necessarily a professional
in the pros
hitter.
and you're a hitter.
You are getting paid. I think he's a professional catcher who happens to take at bats. Right.
But man, I don't want to be super hard on Austin Hedges because I do understand he brings a lot behind the plate defensively, and I don't want to discredit his importance to the pitching staff to this point because we have seen a good bit of improvement from a lot of arms this year.
Right.
I don't want to not give him any credit for that.
Yeah, but those are intangible things, and they're hard to quantify.
Exactly.
And you've got Endy, and you've got Henry Davis, hitting a home run every other game, and you're sitting there and you got Jason DeLay for crying out loud hitting 300. So at least maybe the division of labor should be broken up a little. Austin Hedges can still coach people up while Jason DeLay is behind the dish. So
yeah,
at least while he's on a hot streak.
Yeah, I think he calls a decent game behind the plate, but I also, if you look at the numbers, Jason DeLay has similar catcher ERA numbers, which are just a complete foozy of a stat that I just like to use when it helps my argument.
Well, yeah, exactly, because it's so hard to gauge now because isn't Bradley Haddad and I always love how they talk about these catchers throwing a great game, and then they say, and that came from the dugout, and that came from the dugout, and he, so
nobody really knows who's calling it.
Right, yeah, who, but I would think there's less of the catcher calling the game. I don't know. I don't know, but that again, it's one of those intangible things when watching him strike out with guys on is a very tangible, outcome. So,
I mean, the guy had like a 23 weighted runs created plus, which means he is about 77% below average at the plate this year.
A little bit better than me, and I haven't had an at bat, right? So
he is a legitimate black hole in this lineup.
Oh, yeah.
And you can live with that black hole for so long, but once these injuries start piling up, it's going to eat a lot of things. And the injuries are starting to pile up, and you've got a Mark Mathias or an Andujar in the lineup, or once some of these guys who are riding high right now start to struggle, that black hole is going to become very noticeable.
Not Connor Joe.
Correct.
Boy, I know we're on another thing here, but man, Connor Joe, I thought Connor Joe had come back to earth, a week and a half ago. Boy, was I wrong. And just double after, I mean, my goodness, hits a double and steals third. It's just unbelievable. I actually had kind of some enthusiasm for him, mostly because last year, and more proof that they were so hard actively trying to lose games is that we didn't have any right-handed, hitters. And this year they went out and really addressed that. And my God, did they address? I mean, Kutch, who had a rough game today, but Kutch and Connor Joe have just turned this lineup around just because they hit right-handed.
Yeah, and Grapes in the chat there mentions that he missed out on a third one by probably about.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Really, Connor Joe. We'll just jump over to the hitters here. Connor Joe and Brian Reynolds are the only two that kind of showed up at the plate today. The rest of the lineup, not a great showing, but Connor Joe just continues to just collect doubles this year.
Right. Yeah, this was a very similar type offensive performance to last year. Guys all over the bases, never getting a timely hit. None of the stuff that we've seen, get a guy on, get him over, sacrifice fly him in, none of that kind of stuff that we've been seeing all season. I'm sure it's just an aberration. We'll see more of it tomorrow. But
hold on, Doug. There was a sacrifice today, and they sacrificed guys over for Austin freaking Hedges.
Yeah. I know.
Rough.
I'm like, you guys understand what's going to happen here next, don't you? Right?
Jeez. Look,
I mean, I thought, oh, they're going to pinch hit, because there's no way that you're going to use an out to set up Austin Hedges.
yeah, I think that Derek Shelton has done a very good job of pushing the right buttons this year. I think he missed a couple buttons on that one.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, everything seemed off tonight. It just seemed off tonight, and that was another one of those things. It's like, all right, if you're gonna, Tucapito puts down a beautiful bunt, almost beats it out, and you think, all right, okay, here comes delay, here comes somebody, you pay somebody, and nope, Austin Hedges.
Well, just to go back to that decision, I don't really hate bunting Marcano there. It's that they almost had him give himself up.
Yeah.
I don't love the sack bunt there. Maybe
No,
a
no, no,
little
right,
drag
right.
bunt
If he's,
action.
yeah, exactly.
Marcano was a great bunter. I'm
Yeah.
okay with bunting there for a hit. I don't love having him give himself up there. He did lay one down that was beautiful. Just when you give yourself up, it's still, I don't care if you're Billy
Right. It
Hamilton,
doesn't
you're
matter
going
how
to beat
good
it
it
out.
is. Right. There's,
And
I
the pitcher
mean,
did make a great play on it. But
it was a very good play. It took a very good play to get him out, but these guys make very good plays.
right.
So,
And whenever you see that bunt get down, you're thinking, okay, runners on second and third, got something cooking here. And then you see Austin
right.
Hedges,
And you're
dumbass,
like,
walk up to the
right.
plate.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute. Didn't someone tell him? They're pinch hitting for him, I'm sure.
We're not doing this, are we?
Yeah.
No,
No,
no, we
really?
are.
Yeah, it seemed. Yeah, it seemed that seemed like an odd choice. I don't like second guessing managers because you can do it every game all the time, and and you can do it to every team, every manager. You listen to sports radio or any team, follow any team's Twitter, and they're all cussing out the manager over, you didn't pull this guy, you didn't pinch hit that guy, why did you do this? Why, But yeah, that one, I really feel like, I mean, especially again, you had Marcano give himself up. Once you did that, you had guys at second, third. The only thing it seemed to do was get the best possible hitter you had available up, and that certainly wasn't Austin Hedges.
Yeah, and I understand to an extent why you don't maybe want to pinch hit there for Hedges. You don't want to get in a situation where you run out of catchers.
Right.
But man, you can't let Austin Hedges go up there in
Yeah.
that spot, or you
Yeah.
can't bunt the guy right in front of him.
Yeah, tell Carlos Santana to have his catcher's mitt handy if it comes down to that, because just right, having Hedges, I mean, at that point in the game, as ineffective as we'd been, it was one of our best chances. It was it was one of the best opportunities we had all night, and we all knew what was going to happen. That was a
Yeah,
preordained situation.
and
This was not going to be Michael Perez hitting 3 home runs in a game. Right?
yeah,
This was going to be an out.
yeah, and I guess when you really dig into it, you use Marcano there ahead of him. You're probably going to go a lefty bat there. That only leaves you with G1 Bay, I believe, off the top of my head.
Well, doesn't this get to where you question why he's batting ninth? Wouldn't it have been nicer if he'd been batting eighth? He puts the bunt down, and then you have Marcano or somebody else.
I mean,
in that situation.
at this point, they're basically treating Austin Hedges like he is a pitcher.
Yeah.
He's just up there as a pitcher in the lineup.
Right.
Just get through him, and we'll get back to the top.
Well, we tried. We tried that pitcher batting eighth a
Yeah.
couple times for a while.
Back in the John Russell days.
Yeah. Yes, I remember those days well. I lived in Texas that year, and the Pirates played 13 games in Texas, 2010. I went to every single one of them, and they lost every single one. They went 0 for Texas. They played, that's when Houston was still in the division, and then we played the Rangers. Yeah, I don't want those flashbacks. Let's get back to the present. We're a good team.
Where they're 20-10.
20-10.
And I guess just to wrap this whole thing up, we'll start here. Who's your player of the game? We'll just get that out of the way. I'm guessing you're saying Connor Joe, and I'm also saying
it's got to be Connor Joe. He's the. I mean,
right.
Brian Reynolds as well. You could make an argument. Yeah, Connor Joe hit the ball hard all day.
Yep, I'm with you. You could also go Reynolds. That'd be fine as well.
Yeah.
And then just to wrap it up and get into tomorrow, the Pirates take on the Rays again. I don't know if you're with me here, Doug. Coming into the series, all I was thinking about was just get one from the Rays. Don't get swept.
That's honestly that me too. You're going on the road against the hottest. No one would call the Pirates the best team in the National League. They have the best record,
Mhm.
but but you could make an argument. A lot of people are calling Tampa the best team in baseball, and they are playing like it. They're hot. Everything is going their way. You go down there, get a game. That's all you got to do. Go get a game. Come back, take two out of three from Toronto, and it's a fine week, right? You go three
Yeah.
and three against two really good teams. So yeah, so you got now tomorrow it's Keller versus McClanahan, I think.
Yeah.
Whew, that might be over quick. So
Yeah, that might be a quick moving game.
mm,
But somehow the Pirates, I just think they got to get one here.
I agree.
And even if you get one against Toronto, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Just get through this week with a couple wins, and I'll be okay. That's why I'm not too up in arms about today. Just you got to find a way to get one. You can't get swept here.
All right. We haven't had a 3-game losing string yet. No reason to start tomorrow.
Nope. So, like you said, tomorrow Keller,
Just let me
McClanahan.
stress on
Yeah,
May 2nd, we still don't have a 3-game losing streak.
that is true.
That's your
And
Pittsburgh Pirates have not lost 3 in a row yet.
before we actually get out of here, Doug, what time you leaving to head over to Tampa?
I'm leaving about 6 a.m. my time, so I'm in Central Time. So yeah, it's I'm excited though. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I had no intention of going to this. My new bucket list, my old bucket list was see a game in every stadium. Now it's to see a Pirates game in every stadium, since every year, you
Mhm.
play every team. So at least every other year, you're going to have a chance of, catching that team there. So I got to get to work. I think I've seen the Pirates play in 13 different venues. Tomorrow will be 14. So yeah, I'm psyched. I'm going to see
Yeah,
two good teams,
and you get to see Jim,
and I get to see Jim live and in person for the first time.
Doug and Jim together.
I'm going to get all schoolgirl crush on him. So
I wouldn't recommend that. He's pretty ugly in person, even uglier.
all right.
All right, we'll get out of here. Doug, be safe. Have a good
Yes,
trip.
sir. I will. I will.
We'll
I'm
be
going
back
down
with
and
you
get a win.
tomorrow.
Yeah. All right,
I
guys.
think it's Neil and Donardo tomorrow, so make sure you tune in.
Whew. Yeah.
Peace out,
All
Girl
right.
Scouts.
Peace out, guys.
Hey, you all, thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.